I know it. Sorry. Ready? Oh. Hello,
Yay!
Film Reverie listeners. This is Michael Beckemeyer,
No,
along
wrong
with.
one. There you go.
You messed up my intro.
We could start over. Hold on, everyone. We're starting over.
Hello, Film Reverie
Oh,
listeners. This is Michael
nope,
Beckemeyer.
nope. Hold on. From
What the
scratch.
fuck are you doing?
From scratch. Okay? 3, 2. Hey, everybody. Go.
It doesn't sound original if I have to say it 3 times.
We have to say it every time we do a show. It's never original.
Hello, Film Reverie listeners. This is Michael Beckemeyer with
Just bawling you out.
Yeah,
Yay
yeah.
for me.
somehow more cheerful than I am at this current moment. We switched in the last 30 fucking seconds. Today we have a return guest
Yeah.
named Steven Stull, who is a filmmaker and the creator, I guess is that what we call it? The creator of the Sick and Wrong Film Festival.
Yeah,
Hello.
you could
How's it
say
going?
that. Hey, howdy.
Is that what you call yourself? The creator or
Uh,
founder or
I usually just say creator, but I'm
creator?
basically the what you. Oh God, you didn't fix. Okay, whatever. I shouldn't call you
What?
out.
Oh my god.
So yes, we got the wrong fucking in
got the
your
wrong-
thing. We just
you got
fixed
the
it. I forgot that
wrong-
it was in your lower third. Sorry.
It should be a right single quote. On
It should
both
be a right
sides.
single quote. There's nothing we can do about it now. We're
No
live.
one
It's too late.
understood.
It's too late. It's all we're doing it live.
Well, no.
Yeah.
No, I
All
forgot
right.
to ask about the. I guess I need to get this up front. Or what's the cursing situation here?
You can say anything.
Fantastic.
Well,
I
not
have-
anything. You know.
I have some pretty strong opinions about Syro-Hittites. If you want to get into that.
What's it? Okay,
Oh,
never mind.
now who's the racist?
Huh? I'm very confused, but okay.
It's okay.
Just
It's
roll
just
with
me
it,
now.
man.
Is it just
roll.
going to be me the rest of the time? Ah, there you
Yeah,
are.
yeah. So, yeah,
Creator of the
we're-
Sick and Wrong Film Festival. Sick and Wrong. I very frequently have not only lay people but fucking alumni of the festival mislabel it the Sick and Twisted Film Festival, and
how is that? How is that?
they're just Spike and Mike. You remember Spike and Mike?
Not by name. No.
Not by name.
Not
Spike
by-
and Mike's Festival of Sick and Twisted Animation. Doesn't matter. Anyway, nothing. Sick and Wrong. Sick and Wrong. That's what I created, and you guys have to say something at some point because I'm just
So yeah,
Okay.
but you were saying, so you called yourself the creator of that. You don't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really like for I don't know, 95% of the labor that goes into the festival is me. So like I usually just say, I'm the festival.
You're the festival. So
Yeah.
How many years you? First of all, before we go into it,
Yeah.
tell about what it is.
This-
what kind of festival it is.
Yeah, the Sick and Wrong Film Festival is a film festival dedicated to a kind of movie that is kind of sort of impossible to describe to people who haven't seen them before. If you've been on the festival circuit, you've seen what they call midnight movies, right?
Yeah.
They are sort of uncategorizable, genre-free, weird movies.
Mm.
Tend to skew at a lot of festivals. I've noticed they tend to skew more toward horror, but that's not really my bag. So
Horror isn't your bag because
Horror-
I saw a short film you produced
Mhm.
where
Which
someone
one?
shits blood and also
pardon
you-
me, sir.
you
No,
directed. You
No.
directed a movie where someone shits blood,
no. She just pooped herself, and it wasn't.
but where was blood in the shit?
There's no blood in this shit. I've had one movie with poop in it, and there was no blood in the poop.
I also saw you
Mm-hmm.
you made a movie, and I guess it's not horror, and you're right, it's
Mm-hmm.
sort of weirdly genreless, where it's like a 39-second short film, and somebody
Oh yeah.
shoots himself in the
Pinata.
head with a at a dinner table.
Okay, so I feel
it's like a
you're-
That's
Aristocats.
body horror.
Everybody's
You know,
all
it
fancy,
is
and then he shoots himself in the face.
42 seconds long. You
Yeah.
could have included it here in the stream or whatever, and it would have
Yeah.
been fine. But no, you're talking
would've
about
been
Piece
fine.
for Pinata. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a horror.
And
this is
then
the
he
thing.
shits himself with blood.
No, there's no shit. What are you talking about?
I don't know. You seem obsessed with shitting blood. I don't know.
No, if you really were familiar with my oeuvre, you'd know that I was obsessed with puking because I have like 6
Yeah.
movies with puking in them.
Yeah.
I'm a connoisseur of film puke.
I also saw a movie of yours with. And I feel like this is appropriate because this is the type of movies that he has in his films that he has in his
Oh,
film festival.
real fast. Now you open that door, so I just want to point out I have never, in the 6 years of running the floor of the 6 years of running this Sick and Wrong Film Festival, I've never put any of my own movies in the program.
Yeah.
I find that icky, and it won't happen.
It's icky. It's icky, and
Yeah.
I'm glad you don't. And you're not pretentious about it in any way, really.
I
About
I don't know if
your
I can
films.
about my films.
About your films or
Yeah.
putting people's. It's like you don't have a. Well, I'm a filmmaker too, so I should. You don't really do that. You're just like down with the weird shit.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
like weird stuff. I just don't like. I find. Wait, what movie were you about to talk about?
I was about to talk about the Jerry Show, where
Oh,
you
the
had
Jerry Show.
a Hitler face in the stomach of a unwitting
Of a poor
victim,
of a hapless loser,
hapless loser, and
stuck
they
with
go to a bar and find a guy with the. There's no
hookup?
other way to say it except big dick, and the guy fucks.
Are you just gonna spoil the whole fucking movie?
Right, no. You don't want me to. Okay.
I mean, it's I don't know. It's out.
It's
I got it
crazy
on
and bizarre,
YouTube.
and I thought it was deliciously weird
Oh, thank you.
and very well made. Is that
Yeah.
still out there for people to watch? 'Cause
It
I
is.
rented it, I think, somewhere.
I'll have to give it. It was on Amazon, but
Yeah.
the distribution company I worked with. Let's just say they were
And every filmmaker knows exactly what you meant. The distributor I was working with, I don't know what to say.
So they were great. I will give them a lot of credit because at one point, 2 years into our agreement, our 8-year agreement, I sent them an email just saying, "Hey, can I just have the rights back?" And they said, "Sure, here you go. You'll have them back Monday."
Really? Okay.
So I got the rights back to it. It may still be on Amazon. If you go and rent it on Amazon, I don't think I will get any money. And I can take the money that I don't get from you renting it on Amazon and pile it up with all the rest of the money I didn't get from other people renting it on Amazon.
I rented it on Amazon when I first saw it.
I never saw a dime, but thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. You're a sweetheart.
Yeah, the distribute. We've had a lot of distribution talk on our show lately because
Yeah.
we're talking.
Do you guys like
about it.
movies, or
Do we like movies?
are you into? Do you like?
We make films. Yeah,
Do you?
yeah, a couple.
Oh, why?
Nothing that anyone's seen or rented on Amazon, but
Yeah, okay. So your latest movie, I mean, not your I don't know if it was your latest, but your latest release, you released it at like 6 a.m. one day. What the fuck
We
was
knew no
that?
one was gonna.
well, the thing is, I didn't want to put it out at midnight, and I wanted to put it out on this past Wednesday. We're talking about Manifest, and we had already done an online premiere of it. So a lot of people had it. We were just posting it on YouTube, and
Okay.
knew that there were a handful of people that we knew who probably hadn't seen it. So anyway, it's there now. It doesn't really matter when it comes out because it's always going to be there.
Yeah, but it's not a very catchy okay, so there's psychological things, right? There's
Yeah.
like for instance, I have a podcast that I'm not plugging at the moment because you haven't asked me, but in the early days is the podcast is made up of 2 long conversations, and so I used to package the podcast as one big episode.
Yeah,
And
like
people were like the one I did.
Your 4-hour conversation.
Right.
Yeah,
You were my longest one at the point, but like, so after we had 2 conversations, I put them together into one podcast and released them, and then I had people complaining, "Oh, I can't listen to your podcast; it's too long." And I'm like, "You could pause it." And they're like,
it's interesting. It's interesting that you even got a complaint about your podcast because we have still yet to receive one of those
Zero
until
feedback.
the other day when some school mass shooting denier told us that the
God.
Sandy Hook, not Sandy Hook, Parkland
"Oh yeah."
shooting was fake, just like Sandy Hook, and that we were pigs for propagating such for promoting such.
What was your episode about?
Well, we had a girl on. Her name is a woman, a female filmmaker who made a documentary. It was just last week's episode. That made a documentary called "Stop the Bleed." It was about the Parkland shooting, and turns out that that's the first time in almost 100 episodes of our show at this point
You got feedback.
that we got any kind of like hate mail, and I was like proud because
Yeah.
I've decided to piss that kind of people off like a long time
fuck
ago.
those people.
Yeah, I want to piss those people off anyway. So
No, well,
Yeah.
congratulations. I haven't gotten any of that yet because,
Thanks.
I bring people on and we talk about fucking weekend Bernies and shit. Like nobody,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not-
What do we our
nobody get fired
episode
up about it.
we did
I do point out every time Matthew Broderick's name comes up on my podcast, I point out that he killed 2 women in Ireland in the 80s and paid 150 pounds in fines, and that was it. So
Was it
Matthew
a car
Matthew
accident?
Broderick,
it was
Matthew Broderick, the holdup remembers. Just saying.
I think it wasn't drunk driving. I think it was careless driving or
I was
something.
gonna say.
was an
He
accident.
was
It's not
driving
like
on
he
the
just
wrong
walked
side of
up
the
and
road.
killed him and
Oh,
I
he
got
was
away with it.
he was on the wrong side of the road because
He was on the wrong side of the road,
Oh.
and he claims, as of the last time anybody got him to talk about this, he claims to just not remember the day, and at all, like the whole day, he doesn't remember. And I find
I
that
believe him.
That's what
is
Brad
that is
does.
that your excuse when you murdered 2 people by driving on the wrong side of the road, Brad?
I had a car.
He hasn't
I
killed
had a
anyone
couple
yet, but
car accidents, and every time it's just like in shock. I can't even talk.
no,
and
but it's just him on a regular day though.
yeah. My brain shuts down when anything changes. So I believe him, but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You're a Irish woman murderer sympathizer, Brad.
Oh,
That's what's going
You
on.
got
Your business
me.
card
So, have you ever done Howard the Duck on your show yet? I think maybe
yes,
you did. You did.
yes, I did
Okay,
do
yeah,
Howard
yeah.
the Duck.
I don't think
Howard
I
the
heard
Duck
it.
was the first time I put myself. So the premise,
Pretty
since
funny.
we're talking about it, I guess we're talking. I have a
Yeah,
podcast
yeah.
called The Hold Up where I bring people on and we watch a movie that they remembered loving but haven't seen for a long time. What are we? Is this? It's like Wayne's World. Unnecessary zoom.
Musical frames, yeah.
Yeah, so we watch a movie that they remembered loving but haven't seen for a really long time, and we see how well it holds up. So after doing several episodes with friends of mine, I decided I needed to put myself on the hot seat there.
Yeah.
So we did Howard the Duck, and I was delighted to learn that Howard the Duck still fucking rules.
Yeah, but you're the only one that thinks that.
That disagree, hard disagree, sir.
I saw that movie when I was maybe 15 or 16 when
same.
it came out on video. So I don't, and I
was
remember not
funny.
thinking it was.
It was funny, and I remember thinking that it was cooler than I thought it was gonna be because with the aliens and stuff and the stuff that
They weren't
happened at the
alien.
end.
Yeah. Did you
started
you
off-
listen to my episode?
No,
No, I haven't heard your episode.
but it has a dude from.
Oh, it's got the child molester
The
in it.
Matthew Broderick movie.
Yep.
The
His
principal.
name is Jeffrey Jones, and
He's funny.
he's a hilarious child molester.
To quote
Yes.
the Big Lebowski.
Yeah. I mean, like
8-year-olds,
legit,
dude.
Jeffrey Jones is a child rapist.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
not being
Oh.
cute. Like
Okay.
He's not just weird.
He
He's not-
looks.
he looks like a child rapist,
Yeah.
doesn't he?
God,
You know, I didn't know that until somebody told me one day. I was like, "What?" It like shattered
Yeah.
my whole like almost
Yeah.
like it uprooted a few things in my mind.
Did you meet?
No,
Jeffrey Jones
no, I've
as a
never
young-
met him. I'd never met him, but I did think he was weird in Ferris
Everything,
Bueller's, even in Ferris Bueller's Day
literally
Off, when
everything he's ever been in.
He gives Jennifer Grey like sort of a weird look, and it's part of his character.
Oh,
at the
yeah.
time, but yeah, I assumed that it was just acting.
I think it's interesting that like the time when he plays a good guy, you got Beetlejuice where he plays the put upon father, and that's
Oh, yeah.
I mean that's early Tim Burton. It's just kind of a weird movie overall. But then you got movies like Howard the Duck where he's a good guy, but Jeffrey Jones is so like bad at being a good guy that his character has to mutate into a demonic monster thing before the movie's over. And that's where you're like, oh, there's Jeffrey Jones. Okay, I get it. That's
Yeah.
him. That's his whole thing.
You're bringing it all back. I don't remember Howard the Duck at all, I guess.
Well, then how can you sit there and tell me that I'm the only one who thinks it's a good movie when you don't even remember it?
No, I remember not liking it. I remember
Well,
that,
that's-
but I don't
okay.
remember anything about it.
I don't want to rehash. So what I remembered was watching it at a very young age and loving it, and then as I started to become more aware of film and filmmaking and film criticism stuff, it became clear to me that everybody hated Howard the Duck, and so I had this like cognitive dissonance going on inside me for like 30 years, where I was thinking, man, I guess this is a bad movie. Everybody says it's a bad movie. Don't tell them that you liked it, Steven. And then, so, 2 years ago, I was like, fuck it, we're watching this. And
Yeah.
it was great. It was amazing. It was delightful. It was a completely delightful movie. And anybody who doesn't like Howard the Duck can suck it.
Okay, so that's basically a little mini episode of your
Yeah.
There we go. That's a
your
summary.
podcast which is called The Hold Up, and
It's
so
technically called The Hold Up with Steven Stull because
sorry.
No. I'm not
Sorry.
being a dick to you. It's me. I'm a bad namer. Because I decided to call my podcast The Hold Up, and then I created it, and then I went on like Podkicker or something, and I looked at the list of podcasts, and I searched for The Hold Up, and it turns out there's 37 fucking podcasts called The Hold Up.
What are they about? Are they
I
just different things?
I don't know. I didn't listen to any of them.
I'm not gonna research all the other shows named like mine.
So I just changed it to The Hold Up with Steven Stull.
Yeah,
Me.
there you go. That's branding right there.
Fixed it. Boom.
All done. Branding and marketing.
Why does everybody act like branding is so hard?
Just stick your name on everything you do. Microsoft by Steven Stull. There you go. Done.
Yeah.
So your film festival, we were
The
talking
Sick and
about
Wrong
your
Film Festival.
and we jumped around as we often do.
I want to talk about his obsession with vomit in all his films.
Yeah.
Do you want
Because
to?
I was curious. You know, how did your vomit evolve in your films? Did it start out with like oatmeal and stuff? And
I was thought maybe you're asking him if it ever learned anything.
I
or has
want
it
the
grown?
evolution of the vomit.
What's the character arc
So-
on your vomit?
Yeah.
Okay. I wanna give some credit here. There's a woman by the name of Katie Gelhart who has done a lot of the makeup and effects on a bunch of my movies, and she always made my vomit mixes, and she's fucking incredible. She lives in Berlin now, so I don't have easy access to her anymore, but she's an incredible
Just fly her back.
artist. Just fly her
back
out
down.
here. I got
Yeah.
plenty of money. I can do that.
Yeah, we're just filmmakers. I mean,
But yeah, we started off with like she always asks me, what kind of character, what kind of what kind of character we want for the vomit, like what kind of vomit we're looking for this time. And she asked me things like, is this going to end up in anybody's mouth or anything like that? So that's very important. It's very important. So we have done. She's a big fan of still cut oats.
is this gonna end up in anybody's mouth? Did anybody get fucked with it?
Listen, man, this is the shit you gotta listen. You gotta approach when you make movies the way I make movies. You have to kind of approach these things with some seriousness. So there was one time. Okay, so most of the time it was the main thickening ingredient was steel cut oats. She's a big fan of how that looks. She also put a little bit of like coffee grounds in it for some extra texture and stuff. But there was this one movie we were making, which has never been released because I haven't edited it. And would you like to edit it for
Brad
me?
will get to it in about 6 months, year.
It'll take
It's
me a
fine.
long
It's been like
time.
3 years since we fucking shot the thing.
How what is it? A short film?
It's a short film, yeah. It's a short
What,
film.
is
But
it another one of your 42-second short films? or
no.
is it-
It's probably in the neighborhood of like between 10 and 15.
Okay.
It's a hefty one.
Okay.
And there's a lot of great performances in it. So let me talk about the vomit, and then I'll tell you why the movie's not out yet.
Okay.
The vomit on that case, Katie asked me, is it going to end up in anybody's mouth? And I said, no, it's not going to end up in anybody's mouth because I was thinking about the way we were going to shoot it. And she's like, great, then I could put all kinds of stuff in it. So the two biggest ingredients of the vomit for this movie were like blackstrap molasses and tuna fish.
Ooh.
And
God.
I was opping. I was on camera for this movie, and we got the shot with the vomit. And you can kind of hear it like on the footage. I'm sitting there holding the camera, and I say action, and the character vomits, and Katie fires the goo, and it fucking explodes. And then I say cut, and I say, okay, I'm now covered in the vomit, and I wound up with molassesy, chunky tuna fish sprayed all over my pants and shirt.
Yeah,
And
in
had
your
to do the
mouth.
rest of the shoot. I did not get any in my mouth. I did get some like on the matte box on
Yeah.
the camera,
Great.
It's okay.
but yeah, I had to scrape some tuna fish off my pants that night.
Yeah, that's just filmmaking.
It's just
in
how
the,
it
tr-
goes.
in the trenches. So why isn't
In the
it out?
trenches, yeah. Oh, the reason it's not out is that okay. So I decided to handle the lighting and camera op myself, and I have no, I'm happy with the camera op, with the camera work that I did. I decided to go. I had just seen a movie that I can't even remember now, but it had like a couple of scenes that were lit purely by fire. And I thought, okay, that's what I want. I want to shoot a movie that's lit entirely by fire. So I wrote a movie that takes place around a campfire.
Yeah.
And
okay.
I didn't find out too much later that the movie that I saw they actually had a like fucking roaring bonfire to get
Yeah.
enough light.
Yeah.
So I shot my movie around a regular campfire, which was a nightmare for a couple reasons. First of all, we went through about 20 bags of Publix kindling that night, or firewood that night to keep the fire going.
Publix kindling is expensive kindling because
It is. It's like
everything's
$5 a bag.
30 or 40% more there than you can buy anywhere else. So it's
It was
special
what
name
was
brand.
available. We're shooting
Yeah.
out in fucking Christmas, man. There's nothing around. Like I couldn't go to Costco.
For people listening, we actually. By the way, we're all in Orlando. We just
Yeah.
aren't together.
We just don't
but
want to be near each other.
There is a place in Central Florida called Christmas. So it's not. He's not just exaggerating. I'm all the way out in Christmas. There's an actual place.
So we went out there. My friend had a house in Christmas, and he was letting us shoot in his backyard. And when he gave me the directions for me to go find it the first time, he said, "All right, go down 50, and then turn left at the
everything.
Christmas tree."
Yeah, go down 50 past everything.
Yeah, and then turn
Yeah.
left at the Christmas tree. And
Right.
I was like, "Are you serious? Can you give me that? Can't be enough." And so we go out down 50, and it's like, "Holy shit! There's a giant fucking Christmas tree." Okay, I know where you live. Awesome. He doesn't live there anymore, but the other thing was that and this is, let me be 100% clear here. Oh, I burned myself. Like I burned myself hairless, running around that fucking campfire with my camera, being on camera duty. But the other thing is that the light. Okay, I want to make it clear. If anybody who was working on the film is listening to this for some reason,
For some reason.
the light. Well, the light can be fixed. It really can. It's just that every time I look at the footage myself, I get a little depressed about how much darker it came out than I expected it to, than I wanted it to.
Yeah.
It is still very super duper fixable, but I have like a psychological block against working on this edit.
Yeah, were you wide open?
Completely wide open.
Okay, so here's the deal. Brad and I were just talking about this last week. How those things that we end up doing in short films or film projects that we like end up being like a learning curve that's sort of intimidating us. Not to say that you have a learning curve, but like for us, this is how we were talking about it, is a learning curve.
I learn things. You call me old?
No. That I'm saying that not that it's a learning thing that's blocking you, but there's like something in our film that's like, oh, we need to figure this out because if this looks like shit, if we fuck this up, it's gonna look like shit.
Right.
But it always is one of those things that's like, watch a couple YouTube videos or sit and spend some time with it, and you're like, oh shit, we got this. And then we're like, what were we so like afraid of, I guess is the word you're looking for. So really, what I guarantee you, well, I don't want to guarantee because I don't know your full deal, but most likely when you sit down and start clicking around on it, you'll be like, oh. Like it's built up this thing in your head that's stopping you from moving forward, and then you're like, oh, it's gonna be a couple days and I'll be done.
It's probably like a couple of button clicks away.
Yeah.
You just got to figure out what the button.
And you just said yourself, it's very fixable.
Yeah, it's super fixable. It's just
What
that
are you
I
waiting
don't
on?
like.
Stop coming up with film festivals. You got like now you've got like 2 that you do, and it's stopping you from making movies.
That's so funny that you.
Yeah.
Well, nothing.
I did.
Is it true? I was going to ask you
If I what?
if the festival is slowing you down from making movies.
Oh, this. Okay, so I started a bunch of projects this year, and is it stop? Okay, so define making movies because I'm actually producing a feature right now.
That's making a movie.
Does that count?
I want to talk to you about that too.
Okay, because that is. I've never done that before.
You've never produced just a feature?
Fucking clue what I'm doing. But
So you've never produced a feature, or you've never just been the producer?
Kind of both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never just been like all the movies that I've made, I directed and produced, except for one that I hired a producer on. And she's great. She's a great person, but at the level that I operate, I'm so, broke and tiny that I don't know that I would do that again for my next movie.
Right.
But
Just
I
the
did.
word hiring is scary.
Yeah,
Hiring
yeah.
someone.
Yeah, no, she's great. She's fantastic. So, okay, this in the past year, Jesus, I guess I'm a producer on 2 feature films now. One of which is done and playing at festivals or trying to play at festivals.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and the other one, I'm it's an anthology, so pieces of it are being shot at different times.
So kind of like a Four Rooms, like that movie, The Four Rooms, but different. So like different directors working on what is it?
Yes.
Four different vignettes, or
No, it's like 9, but
nine different vignettes.
yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so I'm working. Okay, so the movie is called Fat Fleshy Fingers, and I forgot to check. I meant to check before I got on here to see whether you guys had backed it on Kickstarter so that I could
did.
shame
How could
you.
you fucking forget? How could you fucking forget?
I had 225 people back the thing, man. I don't remember all the names on it.
But you know me. Yeah. No, I think I remember messaging you, asking you if you had a Twitter, because
I do now
I was
because
trying to
of
tweet
you.
you out. I saw that. I think I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, you bastard. I'm
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Twitter now.
Sorry.
Or at least the festival is. Yeah, it's the worst. I hate it.
So we keep jumping around. We
Yes.
never finished really talking about your festival, but go ahead and finish talking about your film.
Who's your handler? Where's your like producer to keep you on track?
It's me.
Uh-oh.
And it's actually, when my dog becomes unbearable, we're gonna have to end this. And she's in the room and she's
I have
grooming
so
herself.
much to say.
She's in the room and she's grooming herself.
Are you telling me
I'm worried-
I'm boring your dog?
No, my dog is she's on her own time frame. She's had her 18 hours of sleep today, and now she's awake. Anyway, go ahead.
Wait, what am I talking about right now?
Let's finish talking about your film.
Okay, the film
Film.
Fat Fleshy Fingers. What? No. Brad doesn't want to talk about it.
Film! Greg goes, film! Okay, he's been
Yeah.
reduced to monosyllabic
So
yelling. Film!
this will maybe give a good segue back to the festival, because Fat Fleshy Fingers is a movie that I'm producing. I'm not directing any of the segments in it, but what it is it's an anthology film where each of the segments is directed by an alumnus or an alum of the Jesus fucking Christ.
Sick and Wrong.
It's all the segments are directed by Sick and Wrong alumni. That's one of the things that I mean, I just love all the filmmakers that I find through Sick and Wrong, and I adore them so much that I wanted, every year for the festival, I get all these submissions coming to me, and so many of them are great, and I put them on the festival, and I try to get people to come watch the festival. I decided I kind of wanted to sort of turn that around and take these creators who I've fallen in love with and make something with them that we can push out in the opposite direction and get people to see.
Is the idea that you would premiere it at a Sick and Wrong Film Festival one year?
No, again, I feel really
you made it.
squirrely because it's a movie that I'm producing. So I think what I want to do is I want to have, I would very much like Sick and Wrong to host a screening of it. But not in the festival proper.
I think that's totally doable. It wouldn't be nepotistic and nepotism
or conflict of interest.
in any way, really. We'll
have a special screening.
Yeah, special screening. Also, I also feel like it's not an ego stroke for you to put that film in your festival, have maybe opening night, closing night sort of thing.
Something,
It's have a almost like a party, and the movie is like the centerpiece for that thing.
Because I'm not directing anything for it.
You're not directing anything, so that means you didn't do anything.
I did,
because the directors do everything. They're
the directors do
heroes.
literally everything. Yeah, that's
They're
all.
The
there is
literal
to it.
heroes of the thing. So, but the idea is for your film, Fat Fleshy Fingers, to it's basically in the tone of voice of a film you would see at your film festival.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so I picked a panel of filmmakers who I think represent a good spread of the Sick and Wrong ethos. I could talk at great length about each one of them and what they bring, but they all have different sort of aesthetics, but all of those aesthetics are embraced by the festival, and that's why they're all alumni of the festival, and that's why I love them, and that's why I picked them to direct the pieces of this movie. It was important to me that the pieces be two things: be new, right? This is not an assembly of old Sick and Wrong films. This is not what's going on here. These are all new segments being created. And second of all, they're all threaded together. They're all connected by the same theme. My cat just got cantankerous, sorry. But they're all connected by a through line, so that, it won't just feel like, I didn't want the movie, for those of you who've been at festivals, I didn't want the movie to feel like just a shorts block. I want it to feel like a cohesive universe. So we've been having a lot of production meetings talking about like what are the rules of this universe, and the stories are all connected because it's a Sick and Wrong movie. Of course, they're all connected by this monstrous sexually transmitted worm parasite thing. And so we've been talking a lot about what the rules are of the parasite and how it transmits and what are its effects on the host and all that stuff. And so what we're going to end up with is a feature-length film that is, yes, made up of separate segments, but they're all taking place in the same universe, and they're all sort of centering on the same phenomenon.
So you sort of give them a prompt, I guess.
Yeah,
and they run they run with that.
Yeah, cool. We go back and forth a lot, but that's what's going on.
That's cool. So what's the time frame? You raised money for it.
I did raise money for it.
Was it Kickstarter? It was Kickstarter, right?
It was Kickstarter. I did it on Kickstarter. So there's going to be basically two phases. That's going to have a long post process because there are 8 of the filmmakers are going to make their segments. They're going to shoot their segments individually, and they're going to send me their segments, and then. And my timeline, you ask about the timeline, Dick. The timeline is I'm hoping to have all of those 8 primary segments in hand before the year is over. Because then the next phase is I assemble the timeline. I assemble the segments into the arrangement that I want, and I start working with the animator. Because the 9th filmmaker is a pair of folks named Gerline and Anthony, and they're going to animate interstitial segments to connect all the movies together. But that can't happen, of course, until all the segments are created.
So everything's going to be a standalone segment. You're going to have an animated thread going through all of them. So they're going to shoot their vignette, their segment. They're going to edit it, cut it together, make it exactly how they want it, and then submit it to you.
Yes. I submit seems like a weird. I mean, it's definitely a collaborative thing, and there are going to be there are threads. There are like for instance, I don't want to get too specific here, but there are like sound cues that you're going to hear in each segment that indicate the same thing happening in each segment, even if the segments have wildly different tones and aesthetics on their own.
That's cool. I don't, and I by no means have seen everything, but I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
Well, cool.
Yeah, I think that's. When I started hearing you talk about it, I thought it was a good idea. I think it's a cool idea.
Well, thank you.
Does anybody shit blood?
Shitting blood. Somebody does have a. It doesn't come out of her butt, but she does expel a large volume of blood from a different nearby
worm. There's gonna be. There will be
from
blood.
A different nearby. ...
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
So
to be clear, one of the cornerstones of the Sick and Wrong Film Festival is weird sex stuff. It's just built in. I give out an award. One of my sickies, I give out 13 sickies, and one of the sickies is specifically for the weirdest boner sickie, meaning the movie that is most uncomfortably sexual. I give one of those out at the film festival, and a couple of the filmmakers working on this project were nominees, and one of them was actually a winner of this award. So I'll tell you, there is some weird sex shit going on in this movie. There is some bizarre sex stuff. I think somebody's going to fuck a mummy. Somebody's going to fuck a jar of honey. Somebody is going to fuck their dead partner. Somebody's going to fuck
a marmot.
Marmot. Let's see if we can get a marmot in there.
Marmot.
I don't know.
Somebody goes to an orgy and comes away like with a soggy plate of cheese fries because that's the best thing at the orgy. Lots of weird sex stuff.
Sounds like me.
One of the filmmakers. So, have you seen? Can I reach this box? I want to show you the worm real fast. The worm, by the way, was also created. Speaking of Katie Gelhardt, she's incredible. I think I took the worm out of here. Actually,
the hero worm. This is the hero worm.
Yeah. So, are they? Is everybody going to use the same worm?
Yes. Well,
so
okay. So.
Do you sanitize it in between?
I don't have it. No. So
is it in the orgy? Is it in the orgy?
Oh my god. Katie Gelhardt made 12 worms for me. She did. I hired her, and we talked back and forth before the Kickstarter ever launched. Before I even contacted the filmmakers, I talked to Katie because I definitely wanted her on the project, and she made these 12 worms for me. And we talked about it beforehand, and she asked me, do you want 12 copies? Do you want like 12 identical worms, or do you want like 12 members of the same species? And that's what we went with. So each worm, there's 12 worms, and they're all, you can very clearly look at them and say, okay, well, that's the same kind of parasite worm as this one and this one and this one. But they are like, they have little differences, little individualism to them. So it's going to be clear that they're different worms. Like, this is a disease, and it spreads from person to person. So there's lots of worms. And I already mailed the worms out to the filmmakers.
Hey, honey, look what we
Look
got.
what we got in the mail today. Amazon Prime.
Fuck.
It's a sexual penis worm.
So here's the thing. This is what I was going to say, is that one of the filmmakers had the worm out in their living room. One of the filmmakers had the worm out in their living room, and a friend of theirs came over.
You come in there, 2-year-olds going, "Is this a lollipop?"
Dude, their friend came over and saw the worm and said, "Oh my God, I would absolutely fuck that." And he's like, "Great, let's make a movie." And so now she is in his movie. I'm telling you, if you haven't been to Second Run, man, this should, like, we gave an award one year to a movie about a sex worker in Brazil, I think. No, not Brazil. Somewhere, Colombia, maybe. I don't know. Fuck. Sorry. But there was Spain. Jesus, what is wrong with me? Spain. It was Spain. A sex worker in Spain whose last wish was for their corpse to be involved in an orgy after their death, and so the character dies, and the rest of them have a lot of wild
Weekend
deviant
at
sex
Bernie's
with the corpse.
Weekend at Bernie's, but
It's fantastic.
sick and wrong version.
Just fucking. Yeah.
So I have been on your judging panel.
Yes,
think,
you
for
have.
one festival, and then one debacle, which we'll also talk about in a second.
yeah.
One, I can't remember what we gave that award to this last
Weirdest
time.
Boner?
But I remember seeing a documentary.
Do you want a reminder?
Sure.
We gave the weirdest boner to a movie called Pride, directed by Michael Epstein, about a woman who is sort of entranced by a fundamentalist radio program, and so somebody comes over to her house and she assaults him and jams a needle into his penis and drains Okay, here's the thing. I don't want to. Okay, so this is. I probably shouldn't say this. Anyway, this movie has gone on to other festivals.
I probably shouldn't say this anyway.
I'm gonna edit what I was about to say, but this movie's gone on to other festivals, and the most fascinating thing, and I love hearing about this, is when the other festivals say, "Wow, the effects in your movie are so good. That prosthetic penis is really realistic."
Yeah, but it's not. But it's not. It's a real.
And he has to just kind of smile and nod and say,
Yeah. Why doesn't he? Why doesn't he spoil it for them and
You
just
should
tell
take pride
them?
in it, right? It's called Pride.
So, but
Okay.
I saw a documentary which is still. I don't know. It's
Haunting you?
still traumatized me.
Good.
I think it's 11 minutes of somebody getting pissed on.
Oh no, it's 20 minutes. It was
20
called Piss
minutes,
Off. Yeah,
even
yeah.
better.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
not fake. It's not. It's a documentary. Okay.
No,
so
it's
not
a
fake urine. It's a guy documenting the fact that he likes getting pissed on.
Sir,
Yes?
no. The documentarian discovered an online sex worker, or a performer,
Right,
called
right.
Athletic Piss Pig. And so he started following Athletic Piss Pig around and interviewing him and then collecting his videos. And Athletic Piss Pig, by the way, is a fascinating human being who has pissed and been pissed on basically 6 continents at least. Like, he goes everywhere and does these piss performances. And, like, it's incredible.
Performances. It's a
Piss
piss performance.
Yeah.
Well, it's something.
It's something.
What have you done, Brad?
Yeah, Brad. I scared Brad away. Brad came to Stick 'N Wrong one year.
I know, and he hasn't even seen it, but he can't handle this conversation.
Listen,
In fact, here's the thing.
if you were intimidated by dicks, don't come to Stick 'N Wrong because
And
we have lots of dicks.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I brought the pissing documentary up because I knew it would fuck with Brad.
It's a great documentary. The documentarian, his name is Henry Baker, and he points out at the end, I'm not this isn't a drag on you, Michael. I don't think that you're doing this, but for anybody listening, it's not just a showcase of deviant sex or what we might consider deviant sex. It's a real documentary, and it's kind of a tragedy because I've like Piss Pig is a dude who goes and pisses on people who wants to be pissed on and gets pissed on by people who want to piss on other people, and yet he got outed at work and lost his job and was like driven off social media and made all of his stuff private to go and it's kind of a shame because some people like to piss, some people like to get pissed on, and like I don't see the real harm in that.
He's not even kidding. He's not kidding. He's really not kidding. He's like, I don't see the harm in that. It's not hurting anybody.
Yeah.
It might be,
what's interesting to me, I learned a lot.
The former president of the United States liked getting pissed on.
Yeah.
And
one of the things that I was paying attention to, I don't know if you did this, but I always wanted. I've known about people who are into piss, and a lot of it has to do with like the smell. But one of the things I was interested in is, do they actually drink? And so I watched the movie. They don't drink. They get piss in their mouths a lot, but they don't drink. Yeah. And I found that fascinating because I imagine it would probably sicken you, right?
Well, I've seen Bear Grylls drink his own urine, and it's not pleasant.
Yeah, but didn't he like boil it or something first?
I don't remember. Yeah. I don't remember.
Also, Bear Grylls is a fucking liar, man. Like, he goes out with a goddamn crew, and they like stay in hotels at night and shit. He's a fucking sham.
Yeah, but he's the stuff he's showing is practical.
Sure,
yeah.
Sure, but don't fool yourself into think he's doing it himself. You know.
You can say what you want about Matthew Broderick,
murderer,
about the guy who likes to get pissed on. But stay away from Bear Grylls, motherfucker.
All right. I'll leave you Bear Grylls. I'll leave you Bear Grylls.
So, by all accounts, an incredible human being. Except the fact that he sleeps in a hotel when he wants you to think he's sleeping in a dead camel carcass.
I mean, it only makes sense.
Please elaborate.
It only makes sense when he stops talking.
With all the stuff that he does with all the crew, you'd be punishing the crew, and he has celebrities on and stuff. And I mean, you have to do it in a way that works with people, normal people that don't do. He's capable of doing that stuff.
That satisfies Brad Pitt's writer, right?
Yeah.
But honestly, I've thought about it. Like, if I was producing this is how I would do it. It makes sense to me.
Okay, so
anyways, whatever.
Sick and Wrong
What are
Film
you
Festival.
fondling? What have you been fondling this whole time?
This
what
is
this
a
little beanbag.
I'm sorry, it's a thing for you keep your wrist on when you're using a mouse.
Oh.
And
I love how you pantomimed using a mouse by typing.
I fidget with it, yeah.
I love all the sound, all the ASMR he's making for the microphone with his knuckles and the surround sound.
So, well, now I'm not going to stop.
Yeah, that'll be our next Sick and Wrong.
So the Sick and Wrong Film Festival, when is it?
Okay, so the Sick and Wrong Film Festival. First off, submissions are open right now. I don't know when this whatever we're calling this thing is coming out, and you don't have to tell me. But
no, it's in October.
Okay.
Or November. Yeah.
Ooh. Well, if
we're
you're listening,
5 or 6 behind. We're at 5 or 6 ahead. So.
If you're listening to this in October, you can still submit to the festival.
Okay.
If you're listening to this in November, sorry, you missed your window.
Yeah.
But the submissions for the festival proper close on Halloween. That's the last day of submissions for the festival proper. Sign-ups for the debacle, which we haven't talked about yet, are I'm telling you, I know you asked me when the festival is, and I'm getting that, I promise, but these are kind of interlinked with each other. Sign-ups for the debacle are running through November 18th, and that is only $25.
Tell people what that is.
I will in a second.
Okay.
The festival itself is going to take place the weekend of December 10th. That is Friday, December 10th, Saturday, the 11th, and Sunday, the 12th. That's going to take place in Orlando. The venue is still TBA, but I'm working on it. Every year for our live festival. And this is all assuming... Oh my God, dude. Our fucking governor. Jesus Christ. I can't even get started today, man. Today, as we record this...
Speaking of sick and wrong,
everyone
is sick and it's wrong that we're not doing anything about it.
The fucking governor of Florida, Ron fucking DeSantis.
Yeah.
Today, September 16th, his executive order went into effect that says that every time a government or private business entity requires proof of vaccination, they owe the state $5,000 in fines, which is fucking hilarious because Orange County requires all of their employees to be vaccinated, and that means requiring proof. So the governor, who is a slimy douchebag piece of shit, who will probably be our next president, by the way.
Well, don't say that.
It's gonna happen, dude. It's gonna fucking happen.
We're trying to.
He's really hoping. He's really hoping to milk all of the blue-leaning counties in Florida, like Orange County, for as much.
He's been doing it since who was where.
So gross. Yeah, he wants to. He's gonna be the next president. You know.
What is this?
Anyway.
What, you want us to go back to talking about pissing on people?
Wait, did you vote DeSantis? Are you a DeSantis voter? Are you a Trumper?
No.
You're a Trumper, Brad?
I can vouch. But he
You were in
doesn't
the
like
booth with
talking
him?
about it because it pisses him off.
Yeah, it's infuriating. No, he sucks. So,
oh my God.
My governor really wants everybody to get dead. As long as it is in my power to do so safely, the festival will be live, and it will be live in Orlando starting December 10th.
Yes. Okay.
Right? That's my promise, as long as I can do it without murdering everybody.
Yeah.
Now, the debacle, which you mentioned, is the thing that I'm really trying to push right now, that I'm really bugging everybody to let me on their podcast and talk about. It is the full title is the Sick and Wrong 72-hour film debacle. Yes. And what it is a timed filmmaking challenge, kind of like the 48-hour film festival, except that, number one, it's 72, because I think 48 is just brutal. And well, I'll get into all that later. But number two, the debacle is open to filmmakers literally everywhere, because the whole thing takes place online. You're going to get your assignments in an online streaming event, and then you're going to shoot wherever you are, and you're going to upload by the end of your 72 hours. And then all of the completed films from the debacle are going to screen for free to everyone on the planet. So that's one of the things I think.
Has that always been the case? Is that always been the case?
Well, yeah. This is only the second year. This is only the second year. Okay. It's free. It's free to watch. Both the kickoff and the screening are going to be free to watch. It is $25 to participate.
Yeah.
Now, I have a lot of feelings about the 48-hour film festival and events like that. Have you guys done those before? Brad, I know you were in one.
Oh.
He was in one. I have stayed away because I don't ever want to give myself the out. Well, if we had more time, look at how good it is with how little time we had, and I just can't. I don't want to hear myself say that.
Yeah. So that's part of the thing. I like the idea of the 48-hour film festival, and I have a lot of friends who participate every year, and they get big teams together. The problem is, they always, no matter how many years they do it in a row, they always seem to fucing hate it. You know?
Yeah.
And so I wanted to create an event like this, because I came up with this last year in lockdown. And that's one of the reasons, first of all, that it's online and open to everybody on the planet, because I wanted to do something that we could all do while we were stuck at home. And I wanted to kind of address the things that I don't like about the 48. And I'm not talking about right now. I know there's like a big 48-hour film festival that owns the trademark or whatever on 48-hour film festival, and then there are a bunch of little ones, and there are a bunch of shoot-offs and things like that. I'm not talking about anyone in specific when I say this, okay? I'm not talking about
the concept of a 48-hour festival.
There are things about it that I liked, and there are things I don't like. The things that I don't like, for instance, are the 48 hours. I bumped it up to 72 because I really want everybody involved with the debacle to be happy that they were involved in it. I want them to have good memories of it. So I think
it could just be 72 hours of misery instead of 48, though.
That's absolutely true. In fact,
just opening a window for more ideas. Oh, now we have time to do this and that. And
I have friends. I know people who have signed up for the debacle this year with 100% sincere intentions of shooting a feature in the 72 hours.
Yeah.
They are legitimate in their plans to do so, and I welcome them.
So if it does that fucks up not really fucks up your screening thing. It's just going to be what
It's gonna be a long ass
75
screening.
minutes, 75 minutes longer. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe. What
No,
do you call a feature film? A 60, anything over 60 minutes, or
I as of this year with the Sick and Wrong Festival, I started using the Academy definitions, which is anything over 40. It
okay?
doesn't feel great. Like
Yeah,
it should be 70 to be a feature.
that always doesn't sound right to me either. Anything over 40 minutes, that's just a short film that's too long.
If you have a movie that is between 40 and 70 minutes, you need to trim it down or beef it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
It's my opinion. Yeah,
Now I say
and
that, but I
everybody
programmed
knows that I'm the expert.
I programmed
Yeah.
45-minute movies last year or 2 years ago in the festival because
Yeah,
I love those long weird movies.
really.
I do. And people ask me about a time limit on the debacle movies, and I said there's no time limit. And they're like, no, you have to give us a time limit. I had no idea this was going to be such a controversial point, but people have been like demanding time limits, and I refuse. God damn it! If
But
you want to make a feature in 72 hours, I want to see
yeah,
it.
but if someone asks you about
Out
your
of whiskey here.
screening, not screening, your programming desires, you have said before, and we've had this conversation. You think short films need to be shorter. Like your short film is too long. I think I've heard you say that. Your short film is too
Yeah.
long.
So okay, I still have a lot I want to say about the debacle, but that's a good thing to bring up. Because it's true. You will hear when people give advice about getting into festivals, one of the things they say is get your movie short, make your movie shorter. Because if you have, let's say if you have a 5-minute movie, yes, the fact is it is super easy to program a 5-minute movie. And if you have a 23-minute movie, it's harder to program. My position is a little more nuanced than that. I've been running, this 2021 is the sixth year of the Sick and Wrong Film Festival. And I think, like all pieces of advice, the idea that your movie needs to be shorter is oversimplified.
Yes,
Um,
I can agree with that too.
I think most movies need to be or could be shorter simply because they're being made by people who fall in love with their own ideas and don't want to give up on them. So I think in general, if you have a 12-minute movie, it could probably be 10 minutes, honestly. If you have a 25-minute movie, it could probably be 15, honestly.
Yeah.
However, there are movies out there. There's a movie we had 2 years ago called Bitter Sweat from Finland that was 32 minutes long. And there was another movie I had the same year called Wowzers by a filmmaker named Sam Fox. These movies, that one was 38 minutes long. Both of these movies were hefty, and they were too long to get programmed in any festival that has, they're hard to program. They're definitely hard to program. But I found them, to use their time properly. Right. I don't think there was any wasted time in that 32-minute Bitter Sweat. And I don't think there was any wasted time in that 38-minute Wowzers. More importantly, and this is something that a lot of filmmakers don't fucking understand, and I need to get this into their heads. A film festival, I can't speak for all film festivals. I cannot speak for all film festivals, but my festival has an artistic mission. And I don't just want good movies.
Yeah.
That's not if it was just good movies like maybe this sounds stupid, but like if Godfather came out this year and they submitted to Sick and Wrong for some reason, I would reject it because I have an artistic mission at the festival, and these movies, as long as they are 38 fucking minutes is really hard to program, but it was so perfectly attuned to our mission that I had to program it.
Which is what? Do you have like an actual sentence long mission statement?
I don't know if I think I got a pretty good. Let me pull up the website here real fast. The best thing I have for it.
I think I've heard you call it oppressively bizarre. I think
aggressively bizarre.
Yeah,
aggressively bizarre.
aggressively bizarre.
Yeah, aggressively bizarre is pretty good. Is pretty close
Yeah,
to our mission.
yeah.
I still haven't gotten a good like bumper sticker phrasing of it, but it's aggressively bizarre is a good way to put it. But yeah, and that's the thing. If you have a movie, I think a lot of film fest runners say make your movie shorter because they're so and this is true of me too, is that they're so inundated with movies that are I don't know, movies that you're willing to have in your fest, but you're not really interested in fighting for,
Hmm.
right? Is that shitty to say? It's probably shitty to say, but if your movie is good, it doesn't waste time. It could be 75 minutes long, or it could
Yeah,
be 2.5 hours long, as long as it doesn't waste time.
yeah,
If it doesn't waste time and it fits the mission, a fest programmer will fight for it. And that's, I mean, I don't have to fight anybody. It's just me. I'm the programmer. But that's what I've done is I've had whole programs full of like 30+ minute movies before, because sometimes you just run into one that's so perfect for the festival
hmm,
and it's so good that you have to have it.
yeah,
So in general, yes, Beckemeyer, I think most people should probably shorten their movies some. But if your movie is 40 minutes and you have been hacking away at it brutally through the editing process and you've been really honest with yourself about what belongs in and what doesn't belong in, maybe you have a 40-minute movie and that's okay.
yeah, 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 yeah.
You know, if you hear one of those fest runners who's like, "Oh, I'll never program a 40-minute movie," just don't submit to that fest, because
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
person,
yeah,
if yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
They're not. They're not gonna put in your 40-minute short film, and if they do, it's always gonna feel weird.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, at a
they're
lot
gonna.
like this, like our local festival, like Florida Film Festival or Orlando Film Festival or any of the others. I don't think I've seen a short film in there longer than 15 or 20 minutes. Like maybe.
Florida will do it. Florida will do it. I'm on. I'm now. I don't know if I'm even allowed. I'm sure I'm allowed to say this, but I'm on a selection committee for the Florida Film Festival this year,
Okay.
and it's possible. But I've been in the deliberations on those, and they have a very different thing going on. The deliberation process for Florida Film Festival is very different from the deliberation process behind Sick and Wrong, because in Florida, their focus is on features, and they have four shorts programs. They have four domestic narrative shorts programs, which is about an hour and a half a piece times four. You got 6 hours of movies. That's
Hmm.
kind of a hard limit. Like, there have been a couple of years where they went to five, but it's
Yeah,
always been a special case.
yeah.
So they have a
That's
hard
part of
limit.
why it's so impossible to get in there. I guess as a short
It
film.
is, yeah,
Yeah,
it's tough.
yeah.
And when you only have so many minutes in the schedule,
Hmm.
um, you have to be brutal. You have to be super brutal. And we have programmed, like last year, we programmed like I think like a 22 or 23-minute movie,
Hmm.
and it's a hard fought process, because it means, at the point of deliberations, when the committee's talking, it means that we're looking at the absolute best of the crop. And programming a 23-minute movie, even if it's really good, means not programming two 11-minute movies that are also
Hmm.
really good,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and that's a tough decision to make. And um, if there's any takeaway here, I think there should be two takeaways for any filmmakers listening right now. First of all, there's no hard rule about how long your movie is. Your movie needs to be as long as it needs to be, but
Hmm.
that means it needs to be as long, again, as it needs to be. If your movie is 13 minutes, does it need to be 13 minutes? Does it
Hmm.
earn every minute of screen time? Does it have to be 13 minutes, or could it be 10? You know? Second of all, and this is the bigger one, please, everybody, if you get a rejection from a film festival, it doesn't mean they didn't like your movie.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they didn't.
Maybe they
I
didn't.
mean, that happens. Of course, it happens. But it could mean any one of a number of other things. It could be a million different things. Like, I have personally, every year of Sick and Wrong, I have had more movies that I want than I can program.
Yeah, and you're a filmmaker though. You're
Mhm.
particularly. I think you're particularly. I've seen you talk about them and interact with them, and you're making films with them. You're particularly gracious towards your filmmakers in a way that
I love
a
my
lot of
filmmakers.
film festivals aren't.
I,
Uh,
I I'm really glad you say that. I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm really glad you say that, because from year one,
yeah.
from before, like, I invented the Sick and Wrong in 2015. We had our first event in 2016. The entire time, my very first priority, over and above everything else, was that I wanted to create a festival where the
Hmm.
filmmakers wanted to be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where they wanted to be a part of this thing,
Hmm.
and that has been my primary motivation in everything I do for the
Yeah.
festival. So I'm
you
really.
you can tell, and I just from being on your, I would call it a judging panel, is that what it is, and hearing you
Sure.
talking about them behind the scenes, your admiration for the film is from a fan, but also from somebody who knows how much trouble a filmmaker goes through to get a thing made,
Oh
whatever it
yeah.
is.
Good
It's
lord,
just as
yeah.
hard to get a bad film made as it is to get a good film made. Sometimes I think good films are easier because they're somehow touched by some sort of magic thing that they just happen. But bad films
Yeah.
you actually have to fucking work for, and they don't go away ever, like Brad. Yeah,
Yeah, like herpes.
yeah, like
Brad and
herpes.
herpes and bad films.
Brad and herpes
Yeah.
and bad films. Yeah, but
No,
you do.
I do. I love the films. I love the
Yeah,
filmmakers. That's why Fat Fleshy Fingers is running right now because
yeah,
I love these filmmakers so much. It's like, oh, I had a submission from this guy in 2018, but I didn't get one in 2019, and I got sad. Well, I want to see more stuff from him. Fuck it. Why don't I
yeah.
arrange something to make so that he
And
has to make something
and
new?
just listening to you talk just now, you have, it seems like you have total recall of every film that's ever been in your festival. You're like, one year we had a film directed by so and so and it was called this, and you like remember details and stuff. It's not like any other film festival you might go to, either locally or somewhere else, where they might not even know who you are.
I
You
have
know who
been
these people are.
I have traveled to festivals that were really too small for any excuse to have any excuse for this, but I've traveled to festivals where they didn't like the runners didn't know who I was
Yeah,
and like or I walked up to the runner and I'm like, "Hey, I'm so and so," and they just stare at me and I'm like, "I made this movie," and they go, "Oh, cool," and then
yeah.
turn
Well,
their back and start. I'm like,
yeah, I
"Fuck
ran
you."
into we had a film in a festival, and I was talking to the. I walked up and I thanked the guy, and I love your festival, blah blah blah. We had fun. And he was like, "Oh yeah, were you in the film?" And I said, "Yeah, it was. I think it was Opia or Impasse, one of those two movies." And he was like, "Oh, congratulations! Yeah, we loved your movie." And I felt it. He hadn't
Yeah.
seen my fucking
I
movie.
hadn't seen your movie.
He
Yeah.
hadn't seen
Yeah.
my fucking movie. And I'd rather you just say, I
I
didn't
did.
get a chance to watch all the movies, but don't fucking lie to me. Like I'm not
Right,
gonna
right, right,
lie to
right.
you. I was being, I was just trying to be professional, polite, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No, I watch for the record. I watch like me personally. One of the reasons it's so important to me to have a judging panel is that I alone, Steven Stull, I am the guy who watches every single submission that comes in, and I am the guy who picks the programming. And so I didn't want, as much as the festival is my baby, I didn't want the judging to kind of be tainted by, my maniacal control freak
yeah,
approach to it. So that's why I always get a judging panel every year.
yeah,
But if you submitted to the Sick and Wrong Film Festival, I watched your movie, and if
yeah,
you got in, it's because I loved it.
yeah, yeah.
And
Because
I'm a, yeah,
the judging I did with you was not to get movies, not
right.
to get films in. It was to pick the awards.
The awards, right, right.
You'd
Because I
already picked. You've already watched everything, categorized them, and what award you, and then we helped you select. The awards lineup or whatever.
right, right,
Yeah,
right. The
which I thought
yeah.
was cool, and it was obvious at the time, like you said, that to me, I was like, oh yeah, shit, he's already watched all these. That was a
Yep.
lot. That was a lot.
It's
It took me several hours to go through and watch
and you were
all
just
the stuff.
watching the nominees.
I was just watching the nominees. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
shit,
already
that's right.
I've
It wasn't
watched
everything in your festival. It was just the
yeah,
nominees.
just the nominees,
Fucking
yeah.
A.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
watched over, let's see, counting just films, not the screenplays that have come in. I've watched over 350 submissions to the festival this year
Yeah,
so
that's
far.
good.
We still got a month and a half left of submissions as
And
of this chat.
and what will how many films did you have in last year? Like how many? And you
Oh
had some.
crap.
Did you have features in your?
Yeah, yeah. We've had
Yeah.
features. Okay, so last year I maybe went a little bit crazy because the festival went online last year, and that lifted some of the time restrictions for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm often like another side note for filmmakers who've never been on the other side of the festival game. Every single minute that a movie plays on screen costs the festival money. you
Yeah.
know and sometimes it's just brutal. Like I have to say, okay, I have to give myself a hard limit. All right, we have 18 hours of screen time this year and not a
Mhm.
minute more, and then that's when the real brutal chainsaw comes out.
Yeah.
Since the festival was online last year, I was able to kind of let it breathe a little more, and there were, okay, so several films pulled out when we went online, and I don't harbor any ill will toward them. You know, every filmmaker's got their distribution plan, and I don't wouldn't tell you how to release your movie, but some of the films pulled out because of us going online. So I think in total we had 4 features that played. You know what? Why am I saying this? I got the fucking thing open in another tab right now. I can tell you right now. Last year in the festival, we had 4 features that played, and then I had pegged 2 other features. So there should have been 6 features in the festival last year. What is going on? I changed tabs. So I don't know what you guys are doing.
My dog just bumped her head on a drawer and scared herself. And Brad, she's like, "What the fuck was that?" I'm like, "Well, you did it to yourself."
Cat swiping at my feet.
Yeah. The
Animals.
Natives are restless. So you had 4. You said you had 4 features.
We had 4 features that played, but there were 6 that were selected.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, God, the number of shorts we had was just incredible. But last year was also the first year that I started letting in screenplays, which, you know, I have been so fortunate with Sick and Wrong. From the first year, when I created the festival, I was afraid that I wouldn't have enough. You know, first year festival never existed before. It's very, very
who's
niche.
Who's going to submit to a 1 year?
Who's going to submit to this thing? That's weird. It's not just a fest for good movies. It's a fest for movies of a specific kind of bent.
It's aggressively weird.
It's aggressively,
exactly,
aggressively bizarre. And I was afraid that I wouldn't have enough material for the first year, and I'd be doing like an hour-long program or something like that.
Yeah.
The truth is, every single year of the festival, I have had more movies that I want than I can program.
Is there another festival like yours?
There are festivals with similar missions. I think. Okay, so for instance, Slam Dance has kind of a similar mission, kind of like we're parallel. And then you got festivals like Boston Underground. That's one where they really appreciate bizarre and transgressive filmmaking. Yeah, there are other festivals out like that. I don't think there's any in Orlando. To be clear, I should be in full disclosure. The reason Sick and Wrong exists can be traced back to the Florida Film Festival. I'm a huge admirer of the Florida Film Festival. And I started volunteering the Florida Film Festival in like 2013. And all the movies you see at Florida are going to be great. They're just great movies. They're fantastic movies. And I have since, as of last year and this year, I've been on the selection committee for narrative shorts. And I'm really proud of that because the movies that come in are so good. It's just incredible trying to pick anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
Back to Sick and Wrong. The first year I went to the Florida Film Festival as a volunteer, you know, you get to watch movies when you're not volunteering, and I watched everything that I could. And all the movies I saw during the day were amazing. They're fantastic movies. They're all really good movies by really incredible filmmakers. And then one night,
the Saturday midnight show.
I went to the Midnight Shorts program. And this is no joke. I know this sounds like an exaggeration. This sounds like hyperbole. The Midnight Shorts program fucking changed my life. Before that moment, I never knew that movies could be that way.
Yeah.
And so I went through an immediate sea change. Like I had already gone to film school and graduated, and I had made one film, and I knew that I wanted to make films, but I had just been kind of kicking around, not knowing what the hell I wanted to do with myself. And then I saw these midnight films, and I was like, fuck, that's it. That's what I want. So that's immediately the direction my own filmmaking took. And then 2 years after that, I was like, you know what? I want to go to a festival that is all just this kind of movie.
All that,
And there wasn't one in access to me. Like Florida has a great Midnights program. They have one of the top Midnights program I've ever seen in my life, but it's just a small portion of their program. Sick and Wrong has the freedom to just focus on that and throw you a whole weekend of fucked up midnight movies.
It is weird watching one at 9 a.m. though.
The earliest we ever
that
did
guy was pissing on people. It was 9:30 in the morning. I'm eating it with my breakfast.
You're watching. We did a program the last time we were live. We did a program I called the Saturday morning cartoons. We started at like 10 or 10:30 in the morning, and we brought cereal out for everybody, and we did an animated shorts block. And that was a lot of fun. I love that. I'm looking forward to doing that stuff again once we go.
Yeah, you don't get shit like that at a regular festival. Like they'll screen your movies, but nobody brings out cereal and calls makes it like almost like a bizarre nostalgic thing.
I want it to be fun, man.
Yeah.
It's definitely fun. Like if you can handle penises.
so
you're
much
gonna,
penis.
You're gonna
Well, they don't
see
have to
movies.
handle the penis.
You're
They
gonna
just
see
have to
some
deal with
good
it.
original movies that you won't see
You
anywhere
won't see
else.
anywhere.
Because we're so used to, everything is copy paste.
Yeah.
It's the same story over and over with different people told it different ways. But when you go to a Sick and Wrong Film Festival, you're gonna you will see things that you have never seen before.
and maybe we'll never be able to not see again.
Right.
You can't unsee the things.
Like Zombie Jesus.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. That
was
won the audience
actually
award.
interesting and funny, and even though it's very sacrilegious.
Are you worried about getting kicked out of heaven because you enjoyed that movie, Brian?
No.
He's beyond. Yeah.
I'm beyond.
He's beyond.
I remember your piss movie, actually, Brad. You say this. You played a cult piss filmmaker.
I was
Yeah,
Oliver
Pisset.
Oliver
Pisset.
Pisset, yeah.
Yeah.
In a movie like that was a 48-hour film festival, and I didn't make a movie, but I was invited to perform in one, and so I went to that program. I went to the first block, and this is going to sound super shitty. I hope nobody from that is listening, but we watched the first block, and I was like, you know what? Our movie's better than any of these. We have a good shot at this. And then the second block came, and I was like, oh, fuck, never mind. Because your movie was in there where Oliver Pisset, they closed the program with that. And then there was another movie about a photographer. Oh, my God. It was incredible. So gorgeous. Anyway, there was a lot of good stuff in there.
So tell people where where to find you.
Where to find
You do a lot of Facebook Live stuff.
Yeah.
For people to stay informed and all that stuff.
Yeah.
What about the festival and all that stuff?
The hub, and it kind of breaks my heart. Do you remember? You guys are old. You remember, like I do, when people used to go to websites.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was a long time ago, but now everybody looks at the internet in the walled garden of either like Facebook or Twitter or Reddit or something like that.
Yeah.
The hub of all things sick and wrong is at sickandwrongfilm.com. That's sick, the letter N, wrongfilm.com. That's got all of the information about all the previous years. It's got all the information for submitting. It's got the debacle sign up. Sick and Wrong does have presences on Facebook and Instagram. This week I joined Twitter, so there's not much on the Sick and Wrong Twitter yet, but Sick and Wrong is on Twitter. But I think if you are, if you're interested, like I feel pretty good about what we do on social media. Keep an eye on us mostly on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
But if you're interested in submitting or you want to join the debacle, which you should, because fuck, man, the debacle. I don't know if you've ever joined one of those other 48 hours, but those things cost like $150, $170. The
$25 is
$25.
good. Yeah,
$25 to join the debacle. And side note, if you have ever done the 48, like the 48 where I acted, the prop that they were assigned was a fingernail clipper, and so I had to be a horror slasher guy who used fingernail clippers, and it felt very silly.
Yeah.
The debacle is not going to give you a prop requirement. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
The debacle gives you nothing but a mood and a story element. We're not going to
Right. List some of the moods, because the moods were hilarious.
I list the moods we had last year. There were 7 moods we had last year. This year we're going to have 20 moods. But last year, the 7 moods, let's see if I can remember all. They were horny. A lot of people got horny. They were anxious, nihilistic,
and
murderous.
And you would get anxious and a sub.
Right, there was a plot element. Things
right. Okay,
yeah, the plot elements were things like eating something that isn't food, or hiding a monstrous body part, or one of my favorites.
Horny.
I was horny, right?
Yeah. It was like it's like a spinning wheel thing. It's like you get this, you get horny and eating something that's not food, and then you have to combine those two things, and it's like, how's anybody gonna make a film about that?
and the movies were incredible. They were so wild, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what it's gonna be. We're not gonna give you props. We're not gonna assign genre. That's the thing that really burns my ass, is that like you make a 48, you got a team. Yeah. And let's say you're all horror filmmakers and you really, really hope you get horror, and then you get assigned romantic comedy. It's like, what the fuck, you know? Yeah. So I don't assign genre. Genre's on you. I don't assign props. That's silly. There are people who, you know how 48s, they give you a line of dialogue.
Yeah.
there are teams who will get disqualified because they got one word wrong in the line of dialogue. That's fucking brutal, man.
Yeah, it's not the it goes against the spirit of making a movie in 2 days. You know?
So the debacle costs you a tiny amount of money. The screening is going to be free to everyone you know, so you can point everybody at it if you want them to see your movie. And all I give you is a mood and a story element.
Yeah. So is it $25 per team?
Per team.
Or per person? So
no, just per team.
Can you have 10 people on your team?
Sure.
Okay, so it's just like one.
Yeah, there's no. It's just whatever you consider a team. If you, I don't. Nobody's asked anything like this, but like, I think I can only give one. Like, I can only give one slot in the program per team. So like, if you make 5 movies, I don't know. Yeah, nobody's done that yet. Anyway, whatever. There is no time limit, like we talked about earlier. There's no time limit if you make if you manage to make a watchable hour-and-a-half long movie. Fuck yeah, man! I want to see it.
Yeah. So.
Two more. Sorry. Two last bits.
Okay.
For the debacle, specifically for the debacle, every team that completes a movie is going to get a special challenge pin. Right.
Right.
Last year, I know you guys are trying to land the plane, and I can't shut my fucking mouth.
That's okay. We're used to it because I'm normally the one that talks.
Yeah.
This was the challenge pin we had last year.
Right.
This designed by my friend Kylie Markland.
Right.
Also, the 3 top movies voted on by a panel of judges, the 3 top movies are going to get, and I can't stress this enough, and I hate people who say things like this, but I'm going to say it anyway. The 3 top movies are going to get completely unique trophies, right?
Yeah.
Last year, the trophies were action figures created by a bootleg action figure artist in Athens, Georgia, named Dane Marks, and he created these 3 action figures that literally don't exist anyplace else.
That's awesome.
I don't even have them because I gave them to the winners as prizes. So this year,
awesome.
there's going to be a new set of prizes this year, and I can't announce it yet because I want to make it 100% official. But they are going to be sculptures by a sculptor whose work you've probably seen, and they're going to be fucking amazing. I'm so excited about it. But they're going to be completely unique. Again, the 3 prizes will not be available for sale anywhere. They won't be on
one of a kind. Yeah,
they're going to be one of a kind, each one of them.
Okay,
that's an award.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Also, probably more expensive than the $15 trophy that you give, or 30 or whatever.
It's they're so expensive. I don't want to talk about how expensive they are. Well, let's just say I need about 4,000 teams to sign up. That's a joke. That'd be pretty cool.
Well, I wonder if we'll even. I don't know if we can.
You should sign up. I'll make sure you get the most penisful story prompt.
I'd have to do it by myself.
Yes.
Because Brad...
I want nothing.
He won't even make eye contact with you because you mentioned it again. He's looking over there.
Do you touch your own penis while you pee? Do you like point it at the urinal, or do you have to sit and just like... I guess I'm assuming you have a penis. I should shut up.
Is it over yet? That's what
That's what she said.
Right?
So Sick and Wrong.
SickandWrongFilm.com. We're on Facebook and Instagram and kind of on Twitter now.
And do people follow you, or you just want to send them straight to the film festival?
Go to I am like, if I have a lot of people on my friends list, my personal Facebook friends list, who have followed me for networking purposes, and they are grossly disappointed because I do none. You can follow me on Instagram. Me personally, I have a personal Instagram. It's always pictures of food and my cat and shit, so nobody cares about that. Find the festival. All the festival's social links are all at the bottom of the page on sickandwrongfilm.com. Everything's at sickandwrongfilm.com.
Okay.
Sickandwrongfilm.com.
Can't wait to see what you do next. I also can't wait to see your feature film, your Sick and Wrong feature film. Fat Fleshy Fingers.
Fat Fleshy Fingers.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
I'm so excited. I'm so stoked.
If you want to get in, hey, by the way, you could, if you don't like dicks, you can go watch our short film, which has
how many dicks are in your movie?
There are no dicks, unless you consider the actor we worked with a dick, and sometimes he's not a dick. We love him.
We have close-ups on tongues.
Yeah, but that's tame.
I have edited makeout scenes before. It's the fucking worst. just listening in your head to.
And you know what's even worse
Yeah, I
is
had to
having
do the sounds.
is having to make those sounds so that it sounds right. When
I
you're
had
watching
to.
it.
We had to
Yeah.
record.
You had to Foley.
like,
You were Foleying the makeout.
Yes.
Yeah, I swear to you, every film of mine has some form of me, or breathing, or heavy breathing, or lip smacking. Like there's
chewing food.
chewing food. Yeah, yeah. Our feature film, which so many people have yet to see, has sounds of a woman walking away, and I have burned in my brain Brad in high heels walking while I was holding a microphone. He's walking so we can get the sound again.
That's
I don't know where we got the high heels.
Where's the video
pictures.
for that? Where's the
Yeah, we
video
got
for
picture-
that?
Yeah.
We're gonna see the
Anyway,
video for that.
So if you guys want to follow us, we are. You can just find us at our website, smuentertainment.com. Back from when people used to go to websites.
Yeah.
And we are Becca Meyer and Brad, and you can hit us up on our Discord, which we.
Yeah, that's
Fuck,
what
why
we're doing.
can't I remember
Everything.
this shit?
Everything's on Discord,
If you
yeah.
want to know, everything's on Discord. We're fed up with Facebook and Twitter, everything else.
If
Just come on
anybody's watching
Discord.
this video this whole time and wondering why I'm twitching so much, it's because I've had to pee desperately for about an hour now.
Yeah, I've been twitching the whole time and I don't have to pee.
All right. Well, that's it for this time. Well, I can't wait to see your
Thank you so
film
much.
and your
Yeah.
festival, and good luck on the debacle. And Sick and Wrong also. And
thank you.
We'll see you. We'll see you around.
Word.
All right. Cool.
Oh, now it's time. The end. Yay!
Dicks. Cut. All right, cool. All right, well, hey man, that was good.
Go pee.
You are like me, where that conversation could have gone for 3 more hours. I just won't
for
stop
real.
talking.
Yeah.
But, all right, cool. I will check the date. I texted you the date the other day
Yeah.
because I figured it out then, but I couldn't remember while we were talking. It's before November. It's somewhere